Hello, everybody. Hello and good evening. Welcome to EduTALK. EduTALK is a virtual talk show created out of the need for a global learning community, and we focus on topics that impact people across the globe. I am joined here by my dear friend, Mr. Isaac Sogbadzi, and I'm thinking that I'm crucifying his name now, but it's Sogbadzi. Sogbadzi. It and
That's right.
yeah. So when I heard it pronounced on LinkedIn, your name, is it Sabaji comes first in and then Isaac?
Yeah, whichever way.
Okay.
Isaac is my first name and Sogbadzi is my surname.
Okay, all right. So Isaac Sabaji. Welcome to EduTalk, and it's very nice to have the conversation with you today.
I'm happy to be on.
Yes. So Isaac is an education specialist. He's an instructional designer and also a curriculum specialist, and we're going to talk about it. But he's also a STEM and teacher development, in STEM and teacher development and instructional innovation he's dealing with. So we're going to get into that. And he is in Ghana. He's a Ghanaian African, and of course, we shared some bloodline in our relatives too, in coming from Jamaica. So, um, give us a little bit about your background with let's start with STEM. Um, how do you organize it? What is involved in the STEM part of your experience?
Yes, for a very large chunk of my career has been specializing in STEM, teaching mathematics and then science. That was where I started from
Mhm.
until I joined Practical Education Network quite in recent years, who also specialize in training STEM teachers in the use of locally available materials to teach STEM, that's science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, in a hands-on practical way. But before then, I have been into teacher training
Mhm.
quite from 2016 until 2021 when I moved to different employer.
Mhm.
So that has been a lot of my background.
Okay. So you're teacher trained, which is very good that you have that level of exposure to instructional practice and design, and that helps you to move into more strategic roles in STEM education. What's the experience like? Because I want to compare it with the ones that we have in the Caribbean or the United States. What's your experience like in the teacher formation program?
Yes, I would say that the experience has been an unending learning journey.
Mm-hmm.
You are always learning, you are always discovering new things, finding out what is working, and those that are not working, you look at how to adapt them.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been, I call it an unending journey of learning.
Yeah.
That has been my experience so far because I'm always learning new things, discovering new things that are working elsewhere, which
Mm-hmm.
can be applicable in my personal environment, which I also use.
Okay.
So, if you ask me my experience, it has been a very long learning journey.
Yeah. And the teacher development program is how many years? 3 years, 4 years? It's a first degree, a bachelor's degree program.
Yes, for my teacher, for my background, are you asking about my own or what I am into?
Your own teacher, the background, the school that you have gone
Okay,
to, yes, for teacher formation.
so yeah, so I trained with the University of Cape Coast for my
Right.
diploma in
Okay.
psychology and foundations of education in
Mhm.
mathematics and science. That was 3 years, and then I did a top up for a degree.
Mhm.
That was a bachelor in psychology and foundations in education in science.
Oh.
And after that,
Mhm.
I pursued Master of Education in Curriculum and Teaching, also at the University of Cape Coast.
Okay, right. That's where I'm getting at. Okay. So and so you move from psychology and education into STEM, and I'm sure you did certifications and so on in there. So all right, let's talk a little bit about the STEM part. Get a little deeper. What exactly do you do in the with STEM education, and you lead in STEM? So tell us about the strategies that you use
Yes.
and right and the people you work with.
Yes. So for STEM education,
Yes.
okay. So for STEM education in Africa, the trend has been that most teachers believe that if you want to teach STEM, you
Yes.
need sophisticated lab, you need resources, you need some technical skills. That has been the mindset as far as Africa is concerned. But I can also stand here and tell you that with something as basic as balloon, something as basic as bottle, you can still teach STEM in a hands-on way and make it practical. And
Okay.
the strategy is that make the learners connect with the things they use in their environment. And once they are able to connect with them, after learning has taken place in the classroom, they can, on their own, after they leave your class, still go ahead with the learning. And that has been the strategy. Yes, so make learning impactful by using resources that are locally available for the learners. And once that is done, when learning is over in the classroom, it can still continue outside the classroom. And that's what we call lifelong learning.
Yeah, that is fascinating. I'm glad you mentioned that because when I was growing up in Jamaica, we used to build these little trucks out of the boxes, the drink boxes, and we used to use the wheels, the top on a bottle, the little plastic covers,
Yeah.
and we would make wheels with them and put it on the truck, which is the box. And then later on, we cut the plastic bottles and we would turn them into little cars and trucks and so on. And when I started teaching, and I'm just like you with my science and math training background into STEM, and we're doing observations and experiments and so on, design challenge. I was helping people to understand that for STEM to work, you have to use the material in your immediate environment. Instead of dumping the material, you can actually recycle and reuse the material for something and repurpose the material. Similar to when we're growing up and using the boxes to do the trucks, to make trucks out of the little boxes. So I'm happy you mentioned that because that is actually STEM education. What's your approach in terms of, so you mentioned using these materials in the students' immediate environment. So what is it like when you go out and you're talking about STEM education from the company that you work with now? What's the experience like with people who you engage with on a regular basis when you talk to them?
Yes. So for the organization I work with now, that's Practical Education Network, a teacher training organization based in Ghana, with some of its work in Rwanda, Gambia, and then Liberia as well. So basically, most teachers actually believe that it is not possible to teach STEM with the kind of resources we have in Africa. But Penn also believes that how long are we going to wait for these resources to come? So does it mean that in the next 5 years, if all schools in Ghana, if all schools in Mexico, if all schools in Jamaica, if all schools in Nigeria don't have the labs, does it mean we have to suspend learning in STEM? Does it mean we have to suspend the learning in science? We cannot do so. So Penn believes that let's make use of the resources we have in our immediate environment, use them to teach in a hands-on way, help learners appreciate concepts, understand concepts, and then based on that, we can move on when those sophisticated resources we are looking for are provided. We can move on to use them and use them creditably.
Yeah. And the people you talk to you, of course, you're a curriculum designer. So the way that you, yeah, walk us through how you help by visiting schools or get the teachers that you associate with to change the mindset and the approach. How do you do that?
Okay, so for Practical Education Network, because it's a not-for-profit organization, most of
Okay.
our fundings come from organizations which are outside of Ghana. So we collaborate with different organizations. It can be UNIDO, it can be Master, can be Education Development Center. So any organization that is interested in funding educational projects in
Yeah.
relation to teacher training, pen partners with them. And
Mm-hmm.
once we partner with them, we are able to partner with local organizations, last local educational organizations like the Ministry of Education to get access to the teachers, to get access to the schools, and to get access to facilities where we can train these teachers. And once they make the teachers available to us, we are able to go to these teachers and we run the trainings for them. For practical education, we have different stages of training which we run for teachers when it comes to the use of inquiry-based learning,
Yeah.
project-based learning, movement-based learning, and different learning approaches as far as teaching
Yeah.
is concerned. This is how we are able to get access to teachers.
Yeah, and sharing the network as you're in three different countries now in Africa to I'm sure you're expanding to include more and using the resources at hand. Um, let's switch a little bit and talk about your work that you put energy in. You know, it's a type of it's a education specialist type of job, and you name it SKI, based on your abbreviation in your name, the letters in your name. Um, do you pronounce it as Sky or you say SKI Consulting?
Guys, right?
Sky, okay, good. What, because that is your brainchild, your baby. How did you come up with the idea of this company or entity, and and what motivated you to started it? To start it?
Yeah. So back in 2014,
Yeah,
um, that was when this work started as part of my diploma program.
yeah,
During my project work, I worked a little bit in the area of STEM. And after submitting my project work, I realized that no, we can do better in education than we are doing now. So that led to the formation of, to the founding of Sky Consult, my personal organization.
yeah,
So I started with certain questions, preparing examinable questions for learners. That's to prepare them for their final examinations. I worked with schools, I worked with teachers. And then over some period, some schools were also interested in me preparing their final year teachers so that they teach the learners to be able to do better in their examinations. So that was when the teacher training program, teacher capacity building started. So back in 2014, that has been the journey until now.
Oh, wow. Well, do you have like people you work with, like partners that you pull in, or volunteers that you pull in and say, listen, I can't cover all this, so I need your assistance to help me reach these goals.
Yes, over the period, I have always worked with volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, because I work in institutions as permanent full-time staff. That
Yeah.
means I have to look at the conflict of interest position as well.
Yeah.
So because of that, sometimes I have to push my own aside a bit and focus more on my full-time roles.
Yeah.
So as and when it is necessary, I can commit some time to my part-time role. But mostly I have worked with volunteers. So I'll be happy to partner with some more people and possibly get some full-time people who will be committed to that role so that I can also focus on my full-time job actually.
Yeah. So, talk to me a little bit more about it because I'm interested in the idea of helping, especially teachers, develop their skills and their craft, and in so doing, you actually help them with to do better on exams because exams are important. It's a part of the process of developing your skills and getting somewhere. Um, how do you organize around a teacher getting help for in order to prepare them for the exams? Do you reach out to them, or you have a way or a relationship with the particular institutions, and then how do these teachers prepare? Do you do one-on-one consulting with them so that you can target areas that they might miss on these exams? How do you go about doing it?
Yes, so just to give you a little background on that, for Africa, if you are a
Yeah.
teacher, we always measure you by how well your learners are performing in exam. So you can teach your
Oh,
best, you can do your best. If your learners are not doing so well in examination, you are not a good teacher in the sight
what?
of an African.
What?
Yeah, so that's reality.
Okay.
So it's sometimes I call it unfortunate
Yeah.
when teachers are doing so well, putting in all their best, and at the end of the day, their learners are not able to perform.
Yeah.
So it's quite challenging. So that was the brainchild behind my personal company,
Yeah.
just to help teachers. Because I have worked in that space, I actually prepared final year learners for about that was 6 years before I
Mhm.
founded the organization. We're consistently doing so well. So
Oh,
I brought that in to help teachers. So if it is in the area of mathematics, what do I think you can focus on better? What do you have to do more in? So
yeah.
that after all the time you have spent in class with your learners, teaching
Yeah.
all you are supposed to teach, there's a difference between learning for life and
Mhm.
preparing for examinations.
Yeah.
So these are the areas I also focus on preparing teachers to help them make their learners come out with their best when it comes to examination, what to focus on, what you need, what to do, so that at least your
Oh,
learners can,
okay.
yeah.
So I got what you're saying. So you help the teacher to help the students do better on the exams
Yes.
because the teachers are being graded or evaluated on the performance of the students. Wow, this is it's really remarkable because in America or the Caribbean areas that I'm familiar with, and probably in Europe too, they're twofolds. One is with the performance of the students, but the other one is how well the teacher is doing, independent of the students. Preparation of lessons, evaluation of students, and so on. How they design their own curriculum and their teaching in order to meet the needs of the students. And then, of course, you look at how the students are performing. So it's a difference in what you're saying is happening. And so you actually fill a gap that is needed
Yeah.
in there. Yes, this is really remarkable. All right, let's talk a little bit about Ghana, because I know a lot of our Caribbean people are from Ghanaian descent, or western coast of Africa to like Ivory Coast and so on. Um, what is unique in your estimation about Ghana and having the maybe the experience of listening to other people outside of Ghana, because Africa is really big. It's a massive continent, and having an experience of one country in Africa, like Ghana, that Caribbean people are familiar with because of the ancestral line. What is it that you would like to share about Ghana that people can relate to, like in America or the Caribbean?
Okay, so I would say that for Ghana, I would first talk about the relative peace we
Mm-hmm.
enjoy in Ghana.
Yeah.
That's one unique thing about the and you can also talk about the exceptional hospitality when it
Okay.
comes to Ghana. But when you consider our educational system, that's in the space of education, you would notice our over dependence on content rich education when it comes to our educational space.
Mm-hmm.
So people who are doing exceptionally well,
Mm-hmm.
or people who can remember more, are the ones we classify as exceptionally good.
Mm-hmm.
Although the narrative is changing now, where we are seeing more of those who are creative. So you can be as creative as you can, but if you can't remember most of the things we are teaching in our educational system in Ghana here, we cannot say you are good. So
Oh, okay.
this is one exceptional thing
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned about Ghana. But as far as our educational space is concerned, I
Mm-hmm.
can say we are not left behind so much. We are trying our best with the introduction of the standard-based curriculum, which is
Yes.
meant to measure learners based on their achievement standards, which is similar to what is run in the Caribbean and
Yeah.
in the United States and then
Yes.
the kingdom as well. So basically, you can see a lot of relationship
Yeah.
between the curriculum we are running in Ghana and what's being run in Europe. The
Yeah.
only challenge I can mention is that uh, the implementation style is what is different.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So the content is basically the same. Yeah, you're
Almost,
spot on.
I would say almost.
Yes, you're
Yeah.
very spot on. Because in Jamaica, where I grew up in Jamaica, and it's the same thing. Like if you your ability and aptitude is measured on remembering what you have studied, so even if, like, when I was growing up, creativity wasn't so much a part of the curriculum. So you had to study what is in that content book and learn as much as possible because the exam is based on that. If you look at our history too, the people who have done well in music and in the arts, a lot of them did not get influence in the school. They actually get influence outside of the school, and so they're trying to change that now, where they influence in music and influence in the arts, and then it's the same thing with STEM education. They never, like I mentioned earlier on, with the building of the trucks with the boxes and the bottles and so on. It's later on now that people are thinking maybe we need to incorporate some of these experiences in the school because it's a type of science experiment and investigation among people. So it's basically the same thing. It's happening across
Right.
the globe. Um, so where do you go from here with your company, your brainchild?
So I am actually open to opportunities in terms of collaborations,
Mhm.
consultations, as far as education is concerned. And just recently, I put up a post on LinkedIn
Yeah.
that I am open for volunteership until December 15th.
Mhm.
So any organization, any school, any individual who is interested in getting an extra hand terms of educational policy, practice, inclusive education, instructional design, STEM education, whatever, I'll put myself up to assist in one way or the other. Just that whatever requirement or work is coming up should not strongly compete with my
Yeah.
full-time role.
Yeah, 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 that's important because that's your bread and butter, so to speak. Are you reaching out because you put it on LinkedIn to anybody, not just across the continent of Africa, but the other places on earth, like
Yes,
Europe and the Americas and Caribbean and South America too?
open to all over the world.
Hmm. Okay, this
All
is
over
very
the
good.
world.
Yeah. Very, very good to really talk to you. And I want to wish you all the best. And of course, we'll have more conversations around this. But I want to tell our viewers that with Sky, SKI Consulting, if you want to check out Isaac's profile on LinkedIn, you can Google him. It's Isaac Sogbadzi, and he is willing to partner with people across the globe, not just in Africa, but also in the Caribbean. Some of our teacher friends in the Caribbean can reach out to and partner because this is a global society. And actually, with globalization, learning comes easy in this realm of things. It comes very easy. We learn so much from people reaching across the globe. Thank you so much, Isaac, for being on EduTalk, and I'm sure this is not going to be the first and the last time we connect in this way.
Thank you very much, Dr.
Yeah,
Dwayne. I'm
yeah.
happy to talk to you as well.
Of course, yes, yes. Thank you. Everybody, this has been EduTalk. I hope you learned something and reach out, please. Reach out to us at edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. That's edusolutionsintl@gmail.com. If you want to also visit our website at edusolutionsintl.org, that's edusolutionsintl.org. Also, go on LinkedIn if you want to check out the work of Isaac here. You can Google, not Google, just go into LinkedIn and type in his name, Isaac. Of course, you know to spell Isaac. And Sogbadzi is Sogbadzi. And you can check out the work that he's doing, posting a lot, which is very good to connect with people and become a part of the organization, the work in education. Thank you so much. Have a great week, everybody. We'll talk soon. Take care. Bye bye.